after Imagica, 4 years after Imagica, Wonderla's second park, third park, Hyderabad came up. This is, if I'm not wrong, 2000. Imagica is 2013. Hyderabad is 2016, Wonderla. So 3 years after that, what does Wonderla do? And why was Wonderla at 40% margins? Imagica throughout its life was minus 20% and SL World was 0 to 5%. So minus 21 company and Wonderla at 40%, 60% difference. Why was that? 4 years after Imagica, they built a new park at Hyderabad. Imagica was, if I'm not wrong, 85-90 acres. Hyderabad was 30-40 acres, so half the size, but more rides. Wonderla did more rides. And Wonderla built that park for 350 crores. So 1200 crores versus 350 crores, they justified the product and the offering that very day. 4 times less. They financed it via internal accruals through the first 2 parks. So no debt. Some fresh equity was raised. And more rides. So here was a huge difference where SL World and Imagica both were not viable because they were branding themselves as theme and adventure parks. So the experience had to be grand. Whereas probably Indians were looking to ride, experience the rides. And so Wonderla was a secure, glorified Meena Bazaar. No fancy fountains, no 5-star, 5.1 surround sound experiences, no fancy lighting, but all the rides you need in a smaller space. You come, you experience all the rides, you go. 1/3 the ticket price of Imagica, 700 rupees. And they did another very smart thing was, both SL World and Imagica, they had separate prices for their water parks. So Water Kingdom was a separate ticket and Aqua Magica was a separate ticket. Wonderla had one ticket, 700 rupees. On the left, you have a water park. On the right, so some members can use the water park, some can use that. And also they reduced then the seasonal wastage. So summer's water park will do really well. Amusement park will not. Rainy season, again, water park will do well. Winters, amusement park will do well. No one will go to the water park. So they can use, they also reduce their operating expenses via that because it's a common park, same facility. They can use their employees better. They can, redistribute resources better. And the customer, whether he or she is able to utilize it or not, but in terms of value in their brain, कि मैं एक ही टिकट लूंगा और दोनों एंजॉय करूंगा. या बच्चों में ये झगड़ा होता है, या बड़ा पिकनिक ग्रुप है तो झगड़ा होता है, वाटर पार्क जाएं कि अम्यूजमेंट पार्क जाएं, वो झगड़ा उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया. इट बिकेम मोर सूटेबल फॉर लार्जर ग्रुप्स, फैमिलीज, एंड ऑल्सो रिपीट वैल्यू बढ़ गई कि मेरा एक्सपेंस कम है, मैं मॉल जाऊंगा, इससे अच्छा मैं यहाँ चला जाता हूँ, मैं 2 राइड्स भी किया ना और 2 बार स्विमिंग पूल में भी चला गया, तो इट्स वर्थ इट. एंड दे डू ब्रिलियंटली.
So you made good money in Wonderla stock?
Not good money. I mean, so Wonderla has been slightly, I don't know if it's my arrogance that I'm not accepting my mistakes or whether Wonderla has been unlucky. So what happened was I invested थोड़ा सा ही, तब तो ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं थे मेरे पास, in 2017. And GST happened and amusement parks for a year were placed in the sin goods category. So 28% tax.
Oh.
Tickets suddenly became higher, footfall was low. So the stock tanked. 2018, if I'm not wrong, there were Kerala floods. So the Kerala park was closed for 2 months. It was also damaged. 2020-21, COVID came. Absolutely zero. The business couldn't do a rupee. So for the first 4 years, there were always some reasons why the stock did not do well. But here's how I judge such companies, because there are always stocks that don't do well for 5 years even after you hold them. And here's how I judge them. And I still have that stock and I continued holding it. And in the next 2 years, it went up 4 times. So last 7-8 years of holding it, the CAGR has been very good. But for the first 5 years, it went nowhere. In fact, it went down.
Do you remember at what price did you buy it at and abhi kya price chal raha hai?
200 something.
Okay.
240, 250 जैसा मुझे ध्यान है. अभी must be, तो मैं देखता नहीं हूँ ना, it's 750, 800 होना चाहिए.
Oh, okay.
हाँ, So it's been decent generally. But the point to note here and the takeaway for listeners here is ki sometimes some bets will not work for 4-5 years for no fault of them. And how do you identify between a value trap and just the time horizon being longer than you expected? कई बार क्या होता है, स्टॉक इज बैड और हमारा ईगो रहता है कि ये जब तक ब्रेक इवन नहीं होगा ना तब तक मैं नहीं बेचूंगा, लॉस पे तो नहीं बेचूंगा. हाउ टू डिफरेंशिएट between something that will take a some longer time to play out versus a bad pick is by putting yourself in the CEO's shoes. So when Wonderla was not working because of GST, floods or COVID, I always asked myself, यार 4 साल हो गए, 5 साल हो गए, and then I would ask myself, okay, what would I have done to make this work? And I never had any different answer to what they were doing. They were constantly telling in the con calls कि we are keeping it lean, हमने वर्कफोर्स भी कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल रखा है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे ऊपर बहुत सारी लाइबिलिटीज़ हैं. वी आर मेकिंग श्योर दैट वी रिमेन डेट फ्री. हमको डेट ना लेना पड़े इसके लिए वी आर रनिंग द किचन्स इन आर पार्क्स एज डिलीवरी हब्स. तो हम डिलीवरी सर्विस शुरू कर दिए हैं, फूड डिलीवरी, दैट कम्स अंडर एसेंशियल कैटेगरी, तो वी आर अलाउड टू डू दैट. तो ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस कुछ हद तक निकल जा रहे हैं. एंड आई ऑलवेज थॉट कि यार क्या करेगा, और ये मतलब इट्स नॉट कि वो ये बोल रहे हैं कि हम ये मौका देख के वील टेक ऑन डेट एंड बिल्ड अ न्यू पार्क, ना वो ये बोल रहे हैं कि वील शट डाउन अ पार्क. नो एक्सट्रीम मेजर्स, दे आर विलिंग टू राइड इट आउट. एंड I know the industry so well, I know the company so well, I've read all its competitors. कोई दूसरा कुछ इनोवेटिव कर पाया क्या? SL World भी बंदी है, इमेजिका भी बंदी है, दुनिया में हर पार्क, they can't do anything. तो how can I blame them? अगर मैं भी उस बिजनेस में हूँ, what's in their control? So when I was analyzing them by thinking about what's in their control. Throughout their journey, in their control was ensuring the park is built at a cost that made it viable. The payback period shouldn't be more than 6, 7, 8 years at max. Their payback period always is between 7 to 8 years. So that's justified. Are they opening their park in a city where already a similar park exists? Then it's a problem because the incumbent will always have, would have depreciated assets and they can reduce their prices to impact the new entrants' footfalls. They never entered a city which already had a player. Imagica did a blunder there because, there are two advantages to an older player. That, say, if there is already a park in a city that's 15-year-old, invariably that park is now closer to the city and you will get land further away from the city. So someone for whom the transportation cost matters and time matters, Imagica will always be further away than SL World. So Bangalore and Kochi Wonderla parks were closer to the city. So I was wondering that tomorrow if a new player thinks that I want to enter Bangalore or Kochi, that would be suicidal and no one will enter, which is why no competitors entered Kochi in last 25 years and 15 years of Wonderla being in Bangalore and 10 years of Wonderla being in Hyderabad. There's never been any competitor. Because one, they are already offering the ticket at 700. You will enter, you will buy land, you will build the park, and they'll cut down ticket prices to 400. There's water park, there's amusement park. They'll triple your payback period. Your projections will go up the roof. So Wonderla is building a fort every 4 or 5 years in a newer city. And here's the killer thing. It sounds like a recommendation almost, but no recommendation, just an example that, because they mostly fund their park through internal accruals. And each of their park, the last I read, would generate a free cash flow of close to 40 crores, 50 crores. So for Imagica, the profit was 80 crores because they priced the ticket at half that. The profits are 40-45 crores. Free cash flow would be 30-35 crores. So what happened was they needed 10 years to build their first park. The second park, the Bangalore park. But after the Bangalore park was ready, their free cash flow doubled because now 2 parks are doing that. After the Hyderabad park was ready, and that happened in 7 years, not 10 years, because 2 parks were aiding it. And now 3 parks are giving 40 crores each. So it's 120 crores. 2 more parks would have opened up, COVID and things like that. But going forward, now they can open a new park every 3 years. And with each incremental park, their cash flow increases like for the long form. So now is the time when, growth should be substantial.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.